Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. This is a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham Jail. He was in jail for being at a peaceful protest and writing a letter in response to clergymen who called him an extremist and saying he should be patient. This is what sparked the quote, which is King describing his frustration with people who held these ideas. He believed they were good people at heart, as they were fellow clergymen who went to church and practiced Christianity. However, because they were not black, they could never understand the oppression of black people. If you asked them, "Are you for equal racial rights?" they would have said, "Yes, of course." But as soon as the fight for those rights inconvenienced them and the privileges they had, they would suddenly start having buts and criticisms. This showed that allies truly did not understand the movement's true needs, which was a change in the status quo. This relates to today because back in the summer of 2020, we saw a resurgence in the civil rights movement in the form of Black Lives Matter. There were peaceful protests just like back then. Here we also saw a resurgence of the shallow understanding King talked about in his quote. People on the internet or the news would say they supported the movement, but then go and list why they thought the movement was going about the wrong way with their protests. Compared to back in 1960, there is no singular leader like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but if there was, they would probably be saying similar things to what he said in the letter from Birmingham Jail. This isn't the only example of people not understanding the movement, as unlike in 1960, we have the internet and social media. There, regular people tried to spread awareness to the movement by creating things such as the Black Square trend on Instagram, where people posted a black square. This showed solidarity, and it did help spread awareness to the movement, but ultimately it did nothing for the issue. It was easy to post a black square and put hashtags in your bio, but when it comes down to actually going out and making a change, most people would suddenly grow quiet. This shows a new understanding to the quote from King's letter in the modern world. The people participating in these trends were not bad people, they just don't understand that the movement requires actual change to the lives of everyone, even white people. Back then it was the segregation, today it's the police reform.